Hi, welcome to High Road to You. This is Mark Stouffer. And recently I was in uh, a conference in San Francisco, and they were discussing, the AI revolution and all the players in the industry. I think it's the epicenter of really what's happening, in the world today, and it's scary. I'm watching content on robotics. I'm following robotics and how it's coming into the trades. Okay, and how the work can be done. Whenever you do anything, it's time cost, material cost, labor cost. The only other cost is frustration. A lot of times that frustration is the labor cost and the human element, right? And so we run pretty tight crews, and people have to step up, play just like if you're playing on a team. The coach, like the manager, the boss, teammates, the coworkers, people in the stands, the customers. And if everybody's give 100%, that are on the field, your players, basically, everybody lets you know it. The customers let you know it. The boss lets you know it. Your teammates let you know it. And so, welcome to life. And as AI comes into this and reduces that cost, time cost, material cost, labor cost, and frustration cost, then what you're left with is business owners that are navigating, their companies. Why would you hire a human when you have to navigate higher costs in material, higher costs in labor, and higher costs in time, and higher costs in frustration? And so as we kind of make this transition, it's happening a lot sooner than most people would anticipate. And now you're looking at high tech. I know people that are coders that have never been laid off before in their life, and now they're looking for a job and they haven't been hired out. And Barack Obama speaks to this in a recent discussion, and this is a conversation with President Barack Obama at Hamilton College, and he's basically just pointing to what is the reality right now. I think that Trump and also Elon Musk are trying to create as much industry in the U.S. so that there are jobs, right? If they're going to build manufacturing plants all over the country, well, that's going to create jobs, and that's a segue into universal income. That's what Barack Obama is going to speak on just here a little bit. But if we're prepared for this, if we're nutritionally healthy, physically healthy, socially healthy, then you have a foundation. So we're not here to serve our shit, right? Downsizing is probably the best and healthiest thing that everybody can do. And I preach healthy scarcity is truly the answer to a very purpose-driven life, right? May your pain have purpose. And as you navigate the relationships in your life, and with that, I'm going to let Barack Obama take over here and tell me what you think.
Changes have happened. As profound as that technology has been, AI will be more impactful, and it is going to come faster. And the reason is that its applications aren't just in the communications and information area. It has potential application across the board. To some degree, it's an extension of this long trend towards automation, but it's not now just automating, manufacturing processes or the use of robot arms. We're now starting to see these models, these platforms, be able to perform really high level, what we consider to be really high level intellectual work. So already the current models of AI, not necessarily the ones that you purchase or that you just get through the retail chat GPT, but the more advanced models that are available now to companies, they can code better than, let's call it 60, 70% of coders.
Okay, I have to stop there. I just, like I said, mentioned that I spent a week up in San Francisco at an AI conference, and blown away. I'm working with my son, and we're inventing a product, and he replaced a patent attorney, he replaced a mechanical engineer using these tools, and then really working with, say, Fiverr, and they're using these tools. where you're working with engineers who have this now technology that they can do the work at a fraction of the cost, and working with a designer who says, man, this used to take me 8 months, now it takes me less than a week, and it's done better, right? And it's reduced time, material, labor, and a lot of frustration. He goes, how do I charge a client $80,000 when he's holding the job close to his chest because he doesn't want to tell the client he's already done with it? And I said, he's got this amazing showroom and all this overhead. And I said, your blockbuster video, it's time to exit the industry as you know it. And, Netflix has moved in. You can't compete with that. So as these companies are rushing to the front line of this innovation of AI and how to incorporate it, and they can reduce that overhead, they can reduce time, they can reduce the material cost, the labor cost, and the frustration cost. Well, anybody that's an entrepreneur wants to do that. Now, as I look at what is available to the demand for trades, electricians, plumbers, HVAC, equipment operators, it's high demand because the robots haven't come into that industry yet, but they are. I'm seeing it. And I'm talking to somebody that's making, products for agriculture where it can prepare the field, it can seed the field, it can maintain the field, and it can harvest the field. And it's going to basically package the harvest, autonomous trucks all the way to the cold storage plants, and then distribute all over the world without the need of human labor. All right, they're making phones right now, one smartphone per second without the need of human labor. So as we prepare for that, and this universal income that Barack Obama is going to talk about, I think ultimately our only choice is healthy scarcity. Our only choice really is to basically be nutritionally healthy, physically healthy, socially healthy, and live the simplest lifestyle that we possibly can. Some people might say, oh, I lost my job and now I lost everything, because they can't afford that level of play. They can't afford this, that lifestyle that they're accustomed to. And so there's going to be that disruption. And I think that it's a healthy disruption. That's my personal experience, feeling like I had lost everything in the .com when the .com bubble crashed. I moved in a trailer with 3 kids. And I was broken because I was angry because I didn't feel like it was fair. And I was in a courtroom and I'm like weeping and saying, I got kids to feed. And this guy sold, this, .com company. And then he started another one. And I thought it was criminal that he would take advantage of my services and then not be able to pay me. And I was trying to convince the judge that he knowingly, was taking advantage of my services. And he said, son, stop. Welcome to the corporate world. And, check out the link, Story of Stuff. It's in the description. And you watch that and you realize that it's all about creating jobs. And it doesn't matter if it's toxic or non-toxic. The bottom line is it creates jobs. It doesn't matter how it affects people out in the world. The sugar-coated magic pill, the health problems that we have in our country create jobs. So that's what we get to look forward to removing or eliminating, and not focusing on, as a human being, it's just important to be nutritionally healthy and not find ourselves in that toxic cesspool of processed food and the garbage that, they're trying to address right now, and why we have the health problems that we have. So with that, listen to what Barack Obama says about what is currently coming down the pike and enjoy this content.
Now, we're talking highly skilled jobs that pay really good salaries, and that up until recently has been entirely a seller's market in Silicon Valley. A lot of that work is going to go away. The best coders will be able to use these tools to augment what they already do. But for a lot of routine stuff, you just won't need a coder, because the computer or the machine will do it itself. That's going to duplicate itself across professions. And so it's one of the reasons I mentioned to you when we were backstage that I would argue right now, unless you are really good, like one of the top 1% of in terms of understanding how to code, you're better off with a liberal arts education. Because but here's the reason. I would say that the biggest questions we are going to face as more and more of the capacity of AI gets introduced and it gets into manufacturing and law firms and accounting and a whole bunch of white collar professions. And it will be just as disruptive as it was for factories and manufacturing in areas like this, steel mills and textiles. What these machines can't yet do, and I don't anticipate we'll be able to do, is tell as good a story or show compassion or be able to inspire a child or build a sense of teamwork and get people to understand and believe in a common mission.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. And yeah, working as a team. In the trades right now, there's a desperate need. I don't see the robotics coming in and, building the infrastructure. I truly believe that, they have their finger on the pulse between Trump and Elon Musk and tariffs and everything that's going to come back to the U.S. just to create jobs while it's a segue to universal income. And so as you look at supply and demand, if you have kids going to college, if you're going to college and you're learning a skill and you realize that AI is the Netflix around the corner and you're in a blockbuster kind of environment, like my buddy who was running that design, architectural design company, virtual design, and he's getting the work done at a fraction of the cost. And Barack Obama has his finger on the pulse. And I think we just need to prepare for that. And doing so is downsizing, is less is more. We're not here to serve our shit, right? And it's sad to think that so many people will, feel like they, I guess I can understand. I can relate to the fact that when you feel like you've lost everything, you lose sight of the fact that you are healthy. You lose sight that you have access to, organic food and things that are going to sustain you and build you up, and then the community that you serve and the things that you're involved with. May your pain have suffering. Yeah, that's the moral of this story, I suppose. Anyway, with that, I hope this message finds you well. I hope that it gives you the inspiration and the courage to start steering your boat, into safe harbor, high ground, and step back and really evaluate what is important in your life. And with that, I hope this message finds you well. Thank you for watching High Road to You content, and this is where you take action. Nothing happens without action. Please share your story on how you incorporated nutrition, physical and social activity, how you incorporated accountability in your life, how you didn't ignore, you didn't deny, you didn't blame, but you pivoted through a difficult challenge in your life. And how did you build that foundation to overcome and thrive? And I hope this content allows you to enjoy the journey of that, right? That would be the biggest blessing for me. Share your story, share your milestones, encourage and inspire others. And with that, I wish you well.